what's going on? Welcome to the Biz Women Rock podcast. I'm your host, Katie Kremitzos, and today is a very special episode. As you can probably tell by the title of this episode, this is a very personal and intimate account of what has been happening in my life and in my business over the past couple of months. So let's get into it. It wasn't the logical thing to do. Leave my business, my clients, my daughter, my hubs, my bird, and the whole flow of my everyday life for 2 full weeks. And it's not like it was for business either. No promise of a return on my investment that would show up immediately in my numbers. Nope. Just a full-blown, let's go explore the world kind of an adventure in a country I've been longing to visit for decades. It wasn't logical at all. And yet, I knew I needed to go. You see, back in April, we found out that we are pregnant with baby number 2. For the first few days, I was pure sunshine, totally ecstatic that our family is expanding. And then something completely unexpected happened. Hormones, debilitating nausea, and waves of uncertainty engulfed me, and I was completely unraveled into a sea of emotions. All I saw were the beautiful plans that I had created for Biz Women Rock for the year ahead, crumbling brick by brick as I realized that they were no longer possible in the way that I had envisioned. I couldn't start my 6-month masterminds in the latter part of the year because this little one's coming in early December. I couldn't launch my high-end mastermind for the $1 million+ businesswomen out there because I needed to be fully present for the entirety of that program, and I just couldn't guarantee that with a newborn. I couldn't host my 3rd annual retreat in November because that would be way too close to my due date. And oh my God, I had to get started on my course ASAP because I needed to get that up and ready to be on autopilot when I'm on maternity leave. Of course, I knew all I had to do was rethink and rework how and when I would do things. But there were so many voices in my head drowning out any kind of rational strategies, which I totally blame on hormones, by the way. I felt nauseous and exhausted all the time. Damn that first trimester. I was uncharacteristically unfocused. I was frustratingly unambitious. And while I was so wonderfully excited about my growing family, I felt so lost in my business. And that's when I saw my friend Allison's post about her vegan Italian retreat. Now, you might think that it was an escape for me, but it was far from that. The Italy trip represented my opportunity to get quiet and clear with myself so I could realign with my business and my purpose. The logical thing would have been to hire a coach and figure out a strategic plan that I could immediately put into practice. But I do not take action based on logic. I make decisions and live my life based on what my heart and my internal voice say to me. And that's why at 4 months pregnant and with my business in a complete holding pattern, I stepped onto a plane to start my Italian adventure. While I knew that the time alone to think and meditate would be powerful, I had no idea the entire experience would impact my business and my life to the depths that it has. So, as a way to give you a glimpse of this incredible experience, I want to share a few things I learned about myself on the vegan Italian retreat and give you a related business lesson that you can carry with you as well. Number 1, I am deeply in love with women. I could spend hours describing the lusciousness of the Italian food, the overwhelming beauty of the landscape, and the calming cadence of the language. But the truth is that the women I was with were the outstanding feature of the entire trip. My experience with them deepened my love for you, for each of the beautiful, complicated, strong, perfectly imperfect women who are a part of this community that I am blessed to lead. All week long, I watched each of them, myself included, integrate themselves into a tapestry of diverse interests, personalities, cultures, and experiences. And they did it with such grace and love for the whole, for the community, and also with immense respect for themselves. They were each in their own right, brilliant, gorgeous, flawed, and loving, and it made my heart sing that these are the women who I get to be around all the time. My clients, the ladies in my masterminds, my community, my listeners, my guests, my friends, my mom and my sisters, literally every single woman who is in my life embodies these qualities. And I am so humbled that they surround me and that we create a beautiful blanket of love in this world as we support each other. Each one of these women made a permanent impression on my heart, and I was reminded that this is what happens when women come together. We impact each other. We cry with one another. We make each other laugh. We love one another. We bring out the life in each other. So here's the business lesson. Reconnect with the deep love you have for those you serve. Number 2, slow the hell down. I have come to loathe the concept of the entrepreneurial hustle. The supposed rite of passage that we all go through in order to experience quote-unquote success. The sleepless nights, the penniless times, the endless feeling of going that must exist inside of our bellies at all times. I'm over it. I've been over it for a while now, but this pregnancy and the trip to Italy was the cap on my commitment to #no more hustle. That commitment, plus the physical changes of pregnancy, has meant a big slowdown for me lately. I have felt in slow motion ever since I found out about our new baby, and the trip to Italy made it clear as to why that slowdown has been vital during this particular season in my life. Before all this, I was getting up at 5:30 a.m., journaling, and busting out some big to-dos before the household ever woke up. Now, the need for sleep is so deep that the few times that I've tried to jump back into my old schedule in order to get things done have knocked me on my butt. In Italy, 5-course dinners make it impossible to end a meal before at least 4 hours have passed, which forced us all to get out of our addictive habits of jumping from one agenda item to the next and actually be with each other. We came up with dinner questions so we could all get to know each other better and told elaborate stories during which we did not feel the pressure to shorten details for the sake of time. Even at our hungriest, we took our time with each bite of food, savoring the flavors, textures, and tantalizing aromas. More than once, I sat out by the pool, overlooking the deep blue Mediterranean waters after finishing a meditation, and quieted the voice in my head that told me that it was time to do something productive. Instead, I just sat a little longer. Moving slower has given me the gift of going deeper. Deeper with my conversations, deeper with my intentions, deeper with my questions, deeper into myself, and deeper into my purpose, and deeper into my business. While this season has not necessarily been so fast-moving for Biz Women Rock, it has been transformational at its core, because I'm going deep with my intentions and my dreams and my connection to my business, listening to my inner voice who is directing me where to go next. Here's the business lesson. Take time to slow down in your business. Maybe a daily meditation practice, a weekly day off, or even a regular retreat for yourself. The time out of the normal cadence of your business will be the exact fuel that you need to continue growing it with purpose. Number 3, evolution is uncomfortable, necessary, and exciting. Sometimes we need to unravel a bit in order to see things clearly. The beauty of being out of flow and in a funk is that you'll be asking yourself a lot of questions as you try your best to get out of it. You become a seeker, someone who seeks a deeper understanding of herself, her world, how she fits in it, and how she's contributing to it. And a seeker understands and accepts the complexities of evolution. During the most tear-soaked weeks of my early pregnancy, I went on a lot of walks with my husband, sharing with him all the competing thoughts about my business and how I felt like it was a big sign that I was experiencing a transformation. But what direction do I head into? What's my next move? I was so sure about things just weeks before, and now it all seems so unclear. My husband listened patiently and lovingly reflected an idea back to me that I had had earlier on in the year. "You haven't moved on it yet," he said, "and it feels like it would be the perfect next step for you." After a few brainstorms, I realized that not only was this business idea incredible, but it was an exhilarating opportunity to live out the next version of my evolution as a businesswoman. And I got excited. I saw clearly how the Biz Women Rock brand would thrive as it gave birth to an entirely new brand that would support women in a powerful way. But I was still moving slow. And truthfully, my entire personality is based upon the belief that when I want something, I go after it hard and fast and fearlessly. But I was not moving hard or fast, and I was still working on the giant moments of fear that arose because I wasn't moving at my normal pace. What's going to happen if I'm not as visible on social media? What's going to happen if I don't send out my email this week? What's going to happen if I'm not doing as many Facebook Lives as usual? What's going to happen if I'm not launching a new program right now? When we fear stopping or slowing down because it might make us look bad or unprofessional or, even worse, irrelevant, then we deprive ourselves of the silence we need to evolve into our best selves. I packed all that excitement and fear in my luggage as I flew to Italy, and I returned with none of it. Because as I swam in the cold waters of the Mediterranean, ascended and descended thousands of mountainside stairs, listened to the church bells ring every morning, and savored the magical flavors of vegan gelato, I kept getting reminded to trust the evolution. Every morning, the girls and I would pick from a deck of angel cards, and over again, I would get cards like this one that would remind me that the change in direction or the transformation I am experiencing is divinely guided and to just trust. I realized that all I had was a brilliant idea, the beautiful vision of what that idea could flourish into, the belief that I could do it, and most importantly, the dedication to take action in line with my heart. The fear of the unknown, the comparisons, the keeping up with the Joneses business version, the need to be seen in order to be relevant, the giant closet of shoulds that I stare at every day in business. They all disappeared in Italy. And instead, love and trust took hold. So here's the business lesson. There is no such thing as making it. You and your business are always an evolution in progress, and your evolution is what is guiding your business's path. Find silence so that you can be guided and trust in the changes happening. P.S. I'm deliberately not sharing more details about the new business at this point, but don't worry, you'll definitely be hearing about it soon. Number 4, live courageously in the magical space between your reality and your wildest dreams. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There have been some very real repercussions to my slowing down season. I have not launched the masterminds I had planned, which has had an impact on my bottom line. I have not been as visible as usual, which means I have to continue showing up with authenticity. I paused the Biz Women Rock Academy, which has left a hole that was once filled with the most loyal of my community members. These were all the right decisions, but ones that impacted the direction in which my business was going. But being an entrepreneur takes courage. Courage to make sudden changes. Courage to stop when everyone else tells you to go, or to go when everyone else tells you to stop. Courage to not follow the same path everyone else seems to be following. Courage to believe in big dreams that seem impossible to everyone else. But mostly, the courage to keep doing the inner work that it takes to stay connected to your true voice so you know how to move ahead and how to live magically between your reality and your dreams. I have never felt so comfortable in my skin than I did in Italy, literally and figuratively. Belly popping out, in my bikini, cracking jokes with the girls, and staying by myself at the villa when I felt like I needed the time alone. Eating beautiful meals every single night, exploring the breathtaking countryside every day, breathing in the fresh air and the sights of the deep blue ocean around me. But Italy is not my day-to-day reality. My reality is that I'm a mom to a vivacious 2.5-year-old, wife to a creative entrepreneur and dedicated husband and father, a pregnant and growing 39-year-old, an entrepreneur who is simultaneously established and still trying to find her place in the business world, a passionate businesswoman who has great lessons to teach and has never felt comfortable being called an expert. My reality is just like yours. I'm doing my best to live a full, vibrant life and design a business that I love that provides abundantly for my family. Now, my reality is pretty damn good, let's be honest, but still with the typical struggles that we women entrepreneurs have. So it's my dreams that I lean on to fuel my journey. Dreams of bringing joy and love to as many women as possible in the world. Dreams of creating more abundance in my life. Dreams of more freedom. Dreams of meeting more amazing women. Dreams of bringing creative projects to fruition. Dreams of living into my highest good in this world. And somewhere between these dreams and my reality is where I choose to live. Because this is where the magic of manifestation takes place. Every single one of the ladies on the Vegan Italian retreat had a different reality at home. And yet the entire Italian experience had been a dream of ours at one time. And simply by living in the possibility that this dream was possible, we all ended up together for a life-changing week of delicious, breathtaking, and beautiful adventures. So here's the business lesson. Living in the space between your reality and your dreams gives you the opportunity to stay present in your life and manifest the most creative of your dreams. At the time that I'm recording this, I've been back for 5 days, and I've never felt more grateful for my life. I have never felt more inspired to live my life and take baby steps towards my highest calling every single day. I have never felt so in love with you and the podcast and the business you have supported all these years. I have never felt so motivated with a calming and trusting energy to take action. And thankfully, after 4 months, I am finally filled with the energy to do it. And I have never felt so peaceful about who I am and where I'm headed. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I've always been upfront with you about how imperfect and full of ups and downs the business journey is, which is why I get so many incredible women to come on the podcast and talk about that. And I continue to share mine with you in hopes that you can feel a little bit more inspired to embrace the beautifully imperfect journey that you are on. To Allie, Leslie, Laura, Ashley, Desiree, Susie, Noor, Carrie, and Nicole, thank you for making this experience so magical and far beyond what I could have possibly dreamt it to be. To my husband, who was single dad for 13 straight days, you're amazing. A special thanks to the amazing Allison Melody of the Food Heals podcast and Leslie Durso, vegan chef extraordinaire, for putting this retreat on. Definitely check out more about Allison's podcast and Leslie's delicious recipes in the show notes. No matter what season you are in your business journey, whether you are on the high, getting up at 5:30 a.m. and running, and loving every minute of it, or whether you're in a complete slowdown and really questioning what you're doing and where you're going, I honor you for being on this path, and I thank you so much for letting me be a part of it. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode. I never take it for granted that you, a very busy and high-performing woman entrepreneur, listens to the Biz Women Rock podcast. If you got any value out of today's show, if there were any aha moments that you had, I would so appreciate you turning around and sharing it with another woman entrepreneur who needs that aha as well. From me and the entire Biz Women Rock team, we'll see you on the next episode.